Hello everyone and welcome back to the arena for another season of Dungeons & Death Battles, the series where we search for the most lethal monster in all of Dungeons & Dragons. The rules are simple, the fight takes place in the arena, combatants start 30 feet apart, there is no fleeing the arena, and victory is achieved by kill only. In this third season of Dungeons & Death Battles, 16 deadly dungeon denizens will be duking it out to find out which one of them is worthy of being crowned the CR3 Arena Champion. On today's card we have direct from the Unseelie Court, the tentacle-slashing, reality-warping Displacer Beast, which will of course be taking on the undying Wight, a creature that detests all those who live and will stop at nothing to drain the spark of life from all those it encounters. Both of these creatures mean business, and breaking them down, we can see that each of them come with strong statistic spreads. The Wight taking the average advantage, but the Displacer Beast pulling ahead in terms of raw strength. The Displacer Beast also boasts the higher hit point average of 85 against the Wight's 45, but the Wight does hold out with an AC of 14 versus a Displacer's 13. Combat-wise, the Displacer Beast is well known for its shredding tentacles as well as its avoidance and displacement abilities, which will allow it to wreak havoc on the battlefield. But the Wight is no pushover and will be coming in swinging with its longsword, longbow, and life drain attacks. The Wight is also resistant to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from weapons that aren't silvered, which could give it an edge in this battle. And so, with the stare down complete, that can only mean one thing. It's time to roll for initiative, starting with the Displacer Beast and its +2 modifier. And so, rolling in for the Displacer Beast here again, a +2 to this roll, and with a 17 +2 for 19, that is a huge start there from the Displacer Beast. The Wight's going to need to pull off something special in order to take initiative from its opponent, and so rolling in the Wight also with a +2 here, let's see what it can do. And with a 15 +2 for 17, usually that would be a very strong roll, but unfortunately it does miss out due to the Displacer Beast's earlier 17, which does mean that the displacing monstrosity will be kicking things off in this battle, and will be wasting absolutely no time at all by dashing across the battlefield into melee range, stalling just 10 feet away from the Wight, where it will be unleashing its 2 tentacle attacks. And so first roll coming in, it has a +6 to this and is looking to beat the Wight's AC of 14. Rolling in, and with a 16 +4 for 20, that first strike is absolutely going to penetrate its armor, and so the Wight will now be subject to 1d6 +4 points of bludgeoning damage, plus 1d6 points of piercing damage. So we'll be rolling these in all together, of course adding that +4 as well, so 2d6 coming through. And there's a 5 and a 4, very respectable roll there, with 4 + 5 making for 9, plus that additional 4 for 13 points. But now, of course, as previously explained, the Wight does have damage resistance for bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks that are not silvered. And as far as I'm aware, the Displacer Beast does not have silvered tentacles. And so, of course, this damage will be halved down to 6.5 and then rounded down for 6 points of damage. Still a solid hit with another one yet to come. And so Displacer Beast rolling in once again. But with a 4 +6 for 10, that one is not going to make it through. It just deflects off of the side of the Wight as it dips and parries with its blade. And now the Displacer Beast has dashed away using its 20 feet of movement to get back out of range away from the Wight. And as we hand over to the Wight, it is going to counter this by moving its full movement in order to get into close combat once again with the Displacer Beast. And that does of course mean that we are handing over to the Undead, which is going to swing back in, not wanting to take too many more hits, and definitely looking to take the advantage here. It will be driving through with 2 longsword attacks, and it will be coming at this with both hands on the hilt. And so any hits will be dealing 1d10 plus 2 points of slashing damage. And so rolling in for the first attack again, 2 of these coming through directly towards the Displacer Beast. And because of the Displacer Beast's aptly named displacement ability, this attack will be on disadvantage. Should the Wight land a hit on the Displacer Beast, it will lose the trait, regaining it at the end of its next turn. And so rolling in, Wight coming through with its first longsword attack, and a very strong roll, even at disadvantage there, with that lower 13 +4 making for 17, which does break through the Displacer Beast's armor class of 13. An early hit there from the Wight, and it is proving that it means business. And that will be slashing down with 1d10 plus 2 points of slashing damage, and with a 6 on the dice there, +2 for 8 points of damage. That does bring the Displacer Beast down to 77 hit points after that first attack. And of course, as we just said, displacement has dropped. The flickering and fading of the Displacer Beast has melded back together, making it much more obvious where the actual creature stands. And with that in mind, this second longsword attack will be striking in straight and not at disadvantage. Let's see if the Wight can land a second strike this turn. And with a 9 +4 for 13, just about manages to do it, just scrapes through, pushing around the Displacer Beast and its attempts to duck out of the way, and does land a strike once again, which does mean an additional 1d10 plus 2 points of damage will be rolling in right now. So rolling in with that dice, and once again it's like in those 6s, with 6 + 2 for another 8 points of damage, bringing the Displacer Beast down to the golden number of 69 hit points, as we do once again pass back over to the Feywild Feline, which is going to continue to pressure the Wight with 2 more tentacle attacks. And so the first of 2 rolling in, +6 once again, but a 3 plus 6 for 9 is not going to do it. Let's see if it can make this second strike count. And with a 13 plus 6 for 19, that is much more like it. The second tentacle attack strikes true upon the Wight, as we once again roll in for that 1d6 plus 4 points of bludgeoning damage, plus 1d6 points of piercing damage. And so throwing in a 5 plus 2 for 7, plus 4 for 11 points of damage there. Once again, a very solid strike from the Displacer Beast, but yet again, that will be halved down to 5.5 and rounded down to 5 points of damage, which will bring the Wight down to 34 hit points as we once again hand over the turn. But as the turn does pass around, the Displacer Beast does of course regain that flickering facade as it does once again begin to fade and blend into its surroundings, tricking the Wight and meaning that its next attacks will be at disadvantage. And so once again, the Wight is in close combat and it's going to do what it does best, and that is swing and slash away with its longsword. Unfortunately for the Wight though, this is at disadvantage once more thanks to that tricky displacement ability. And so rolling in on disadvantage, and with a natural 1 on the lower dice, unfortunately that is going to be a critical miss, which does of course mean that this second attack will also be at disadvantage. So rolling in second strike from the Wight, but the Wight is still somehow managing to make this work. Its determination is shining through those bitter empty eye sockets, as with a 16 plus 4 for 20, that hit is absolutely going to land. And so once more, that 1d10 plus 2 points of slashing damage rolling in, but with a 2 plus 2 for 4, that is a lot less damage than the Wight would have liked to have delivered, as that brings the Displacer Beast down to 65 hit points, and once again displacement drops, but as it will regain the ability before the start of the Wight's next turn, it is going to have little impact on what happens next, and we all know exactly what that is going to be. 2 more tentacle attacks lashing out towards our Wight. So first one rolling in, let's see if the Displacer Beast is able to land 2 in a row this round. And with an 11 plus 6 for 17, we are off to a strong start, as we again deliver what is essentially 2d6 plus 4 points of damage. And once again, a 5 and a 2 on the dice. We are liking that one by the look of things, and that is once again going to be 5 plus 2 for 7, plus 4 for 11 points of damage, once again rounded down to a mere 5, which does bring the Wight down to 29 hit points. But this time, the Displacer Beast does have a second attack to strike in with, and it will of course be doing just that. Second tentacle attack rolling through, and that is a 15 plus 6 for 21, once again striking home. The barbed tendrils of the Displacer Beast slashing across the face of the Wight as it delivers yet more damage. And so we will roll in for that right now. Let's see if we can get a little bit of change of pace on these dice. And we have, but it's only lower, with a 5 and a 1 for 6 points of damage, plus that 4 for 10, which does mean that it is going to be delivering the same 5 points of damage anyway, which is going to bring the Wight down to 24 hit points after that onslaught. Things seem to be going steadily in the right direction here for the Displacer Beast. Let's see if the Wight has an answer for it. And as we know, the Displacer Beast displacement ability has triggered once again, which does mean that we are back to the Wight rolling at disadvantage. The Twilight Hunter is a really tricky creature to face, and the Wight is discovering that the hard way. But all that being said, it will now be rolling in with its longsword. Once again, 2-hand slash coming through at disadvantage. And with 2 7s on the dice there, that plus 4 is only going to bring those up to 11, which is not going to strike. Second attack coming through, also at disadvantage. But once again, a 16 and a 19. We are getting some very similar rolls from these dice today. With that 4 pumping that 16 up to 20 once again, we are going to get the same result as last time. But that, of course, does mean that the Wight is going to be able to get that 1d10 plus 2 points of slashing damage in, which at the moment is by far the most important factor at play. And so rolling in, let's see if it can roll a little bit more than a 2 this time. And it certainly can with a 6 plus 2 for 8 points of damage. A return back to form from the Wight as it brings the Displacer Beast down to 57 hit points. But the Duke Out will continue on as the Displacer Beast once again is going to be lashing through with those tentacles. An up close and personal bombardment here from these creatures as they just go head to head and duke it out in close combat. Neither one wanting to break position and take an opportunity attack. So Displacer Beast rolling in for tentacle attack number 1. And with a 9 plus 6, that is going to make 15, which does of course break through the Wight's armor class of 14, putting yet another 2d6 plus 4 points of damage on the table. And that is a much bigger roll there. That is heavy damage from the Displacer Beast, rolling in with a 5 and a 6 for 11, plus that 4 for 15 points of damage, which in any other world would be an absolutely solid hit. But of course, as the Wight does have its resistance, that is going to get halved and rounded down to a mere 7 points of damage. But that does bring the Wight down to 17 hit points, with the Displacer Beast having yet another attack to make. And so rolling in once more, a second tentacle attack lashing across towards the Wight, and with an 18 plus that 6 there for 24, that is yet another hit. The Displacer Beast really wants to put this Wight back in the ground where it belongs, and we'll be rolling in yet another barrage of damage. 2d6 plus 4 once again coming in, and that is miserable damage, with a 2 and a 1 for 3 points of damage, plus that 4 for 7, of course being halved and rounded down to just 3 points of damage. The Displacer Beast has been caught lacking with that attack, and will be handing back over to the Wight once again as it continues to slash and shred away with its longsword. And displacement is back up, which does once again mean disadvantage on these, but the Wight will be rolling in once again with its 2 longsword attacks, first of those coming through, and with the lower roll there being 10 plus that 4 for 14, that does mean that it has broken through. The Displacer Beast can flicker and flash all at once, but the Wight has hit its mark, and as such will be rolling in with with its first 1d10 plus 2 points of damage, which once again, rolling through with a 2 plus 2 for 4 is less than desirable. However, it does bring the Displacer Beast down to 53 hit points, and this next attack will now be straight, thanks to that displacement ability having been halted for now. So let's see what it can do. And once again, with a 9 plus 4 for 13, that strike also is going to land, as an additional 1d10 plus 2 points of damage roll through onto the Displacer Beast. And that is much more like it, with 9 plus 2 for 11 points of damage. That is what the Wight wants to be doing. It wants to be cleaving and slashing through with high numbers on that d10, and this time it has managed to do it. Of course, that 2 pushing that 9 up to an 11, which is going to bring the Displacer Beast down to 42 hit points. The Wight is halfway there, but we are of course now going to hand over once again to the Displacer Beast, which is going to continue things becoming slightly more desperate as it realizes it does actually have competition here. But that being said, that is not what it's focused on, as it wants to bring pride to the Unseelie Court. So we'll be doing that with 2 more tentacle attacks. First one rolling in, and that is a 19. Again, a really solid hit there from the Displacer Beast, with that plus 6 bringing that up to 25. A sure hit there by a massive margin. And once again, more damage, and once again, another 2d6 plus 4 points of damage, headed straight for the Wight, with a 4 and a 1 for 5 points of damage. Of course, plus that 4 for 9, which once again is going to be halved and rounded down to just 4 points of damage. But that is going to reduce the Wight down to just 10 hit points. The Displacer Beast does have victory in its sight, its keen green eyes flashing as it prepares to finish off its opponent. And with a 17 plus 6 to 23, it is getting ever closer to achieving that goal, as it once again shreds and slashes through the Wight's armor. 2d6 plus 4 coming through, and once again the dice totaling 5 there with a 3 and a 2, plus that 4 for 9, once again delivering 4 points of damage, which does reduce the Wight down to 6 hit points. Things are getting desperate now for the Life Eater, and it's going to really need to pull out something special to make this work now. And once again, that first roll coming in at disadvantage as it prepares its longsword to make another attack at the Displacer Beast. And with a 6 plus 4 for 10, that one is not going to land, meaning that this second strike will also be at disadvantage. And if Undead could tire, it is clearly something that is affecting the Wight right here, as it falters yet again, missing 2 strikes back to back, with a 4 plus 4 only making for 8, far below the AC of 13 that it is looking to beat. And that does mean that we hand over to the Displacer Beast. Can it finish things right here, right now? Let's find out. Displacer Beast, first tentacle attack rolling in now. And with a 2 plus 6 for 8, it hasn't done it yet. Will the second one land home? And yes, it does. That is a 15 plus 6 for 21. The strike has landed. Will it be able to strike a vital point and put the Wight out of its misery once and for all? The dice are rolling in hot. 2d6 plus 4 points of physical damage coming in right now. And that is a 6 and a 3 for 9, plus 4 for 13 points of damage, which after being halved and rounded down does make for 6 points of damage, which does mean that the Displacer Beast has managed to do it down to the exact point, bringing the Wight down to 0 hit points after a very hectic duke out between 2 melee brawlers, which does of course see the Displacer Beast moving forward into the next round of the competition, where it will be facing off against that dastardly Dwegar Mindmaster in a future quarter-final round. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this battle in which the Displacer Beast schooled the Wight on what it is to be a melee combatant. And I do hope you'll join me again next time, when the Phase Spider takes on the Yeti in a battle between 2 incredibly unlikely combatants. And if you did enjoy what you saw, please consider dropping a like on the video, commenting down below, and subscribing to the channel. We do also have an active Patreon which hosts both free and paid tiers, with things to do on there such as casting your vote for your favourite monster, making sure you can show your support for the creature that you think is going to win the next battle. So it would be great to see you over there as well. But until next time, that is all from me. Thank you once again very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one very soon.